The most reliable test of genuine faith has nothing to do with what happens on Sunday morning. It has nothing to do with how someone worships when the congregation is watching, how generously they give when others can see, and how spiritually engaged they appear when their reputation is at stake. The real test of genuine Christianity happens in the moments when absolutely nobody is watching, when there is no audience, no approval, and no social reward for doing the right thing. And in those moments, the difference between a true Christian and a fake one becomes impossible to hide. In this video, we will reveal 5 things true Christians do when nobody is watching, that fake Christians never do. Stay until the end, because the 5th one is the most revealing of all. Tell us in the comments what country you are watching from, and let's get into it. The easiest way to identify whether a person's prayer life is genuine or performative is to find out what happens when there is no one to impress. Fake Christians pray publicly with remarkable fluency, in small groups, before meals when others are present, and in church settings where spiritual engagement is visible and socially rewarded. But genuine prayer, the private, unwitnessed, unpolished conversation with God that happens before anyone else is awake or after everyone else has gone to sleep, reveals something that public prayer never can. It reveals whether the relationship with God is real or whether it exists primarily for the benefit of an audience. Jesus addressed this directly in Matthew 6:6. When you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. The entire point of private prayer is that it strips away every social motivation and leaves only one. Do you actually believe God is listening? A person who prays consistently when nobody can see them has answered that question with their life. And a person who only prays when others are present has also answered it, whether they realize it or not. Private prayer is not a spiritual discipline for advanced believers. It is the basic test of whether faith is directed at God or at the people around you. And the second thing true Christians do when nobody is watching reveals a form of generosity that social media has made almost impossible to practice genuinely. In an era where every act of service can be photographed, captioned, and shared before the person being served has finished saying thank you, genuine anonymous service has become one of the rarest and most countercultural practices in Christian culture. Fake Christians serve visibly, in the roles that earn recognition, in the ministries that get mentioned from the pulpit, and in the ways that build a reputation for generosity and commitment. True Christians serve when nobody will ever know. They leave the tip that nobody will see. They help the person who cannot return the favor and will never think to mention it. They do the task that needs doing, even though no one assigned it and no one will credit them for it. Not because they are performing humility, but because the service was never about being seen in the first place. Matthew 6:3-4 describes this standard with striking precision. When you give to the needy, do not let your left hand know what your right hand is doing, so that your giving may be in secret. Then your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you. The reward Jesus promises for secret service is not a social reward. It is a divine one. And the person who has genuinely internalized that truth has no need for any other audience. They serve when nobody is watching, because the only audience that ultimately matters already sees everything. But the third thing on our list reveals what happens when a true Christian faces a moment where dishonesty would be easier, more profitable, and completely undetectable. Everyone faces moments where the honest path and the convenient path diverge, where telling the truth costs something real, where keeping a commitment requires genuine sacrifice, and where doing the right thing has no witness and no social reward. In those moments, the person whose integrity exists only for public consumption will almost always choose convenience, the expense report that could be inflated without anyone knowing, the commitment that could be broken with a plausible excuse, the truth that could be shaded in a direction that serves their interests without technically being a lie. Fake Christianity produces people who are honest when honesty is observed and dishonest when dishonesty is safe, which means their integrity is not integrity at all. It is reputation management. Proverbs 11:3 captures the contrast precisely. The integrity of the upright guides them, but the unfaithfulness of the treacherous destroys them. Integrity is not the habit of being honest when it is convenient. It is the settled character of a person who has decided that honesty is non-negotiable regardless of the cost. The true Christian who chooses the harder, more honest, more costly path when nobody is watching is not doing it for social credit. They are doing it because they have genuinely internalized the truth that God sees everything. That character is what you are in the dark, and that a faith that does not produce consistent private integrity has not yet taken root where it actually matters. And the fourth thing on our list is one that has become almost impossible to practice genuinely in a world designed to fill every unobserved moment with content. What a person watches, listens to, and allows into their mind when they are completely alone reveals more about their actual spiritual state than almost anything else. Fake Christians curate a carefully maintained public media diet. The worship playlists, the Christian podcasts, and the biblical content that signals spiritual engagement to everyone who can see their screen. But when the screen is private and the algorithm is serving up whatever it knows they actually engage with, the content that gets hours of attention tells a very different story. The shows that are clearly incompatible with the values they claim to hold. The music that directly contradicts what they sing at church. The content that gradually, consistently shapes their thinking in directions that have nothing to do with the Word of God. Philippians 4:8 does not provide a public standard and a private standard. Whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, think about such things. The standard is the same whether anyone is watching or not. Proverbs 4:23 instructs believers to guard their heart above all else, and the heart is not guarded accidentally. Every hour of private content consumption is either an investment in the person God is forming or a withdrawal from it. The true Christian who applies genuine discernment to what they consume when nobody is watching is not doing it out of legalism. They are doing it because they have understood that what goes in shapes what comes out, and what comes out eventually becomes impossible to hide. And the fifth thing on our list is perhaps the most practical and the most immediately revealing test of genuine Christian character in everyday life. How a person treats people who can do nothing for them. The server at the restaurant, the cleaner in the office building, the Uber driver, the cashier, the person at the bottom of every social hierarchy they move through, is one of the most honest indicators of genuine character that exists. Fake Christians are warm, gracious, and spiritually engaged with the people who matter to their reputation. The pastor, the small group leader, the influential colleague, the person whose opinion of them shapes how they are perceived in the community. But with the people who have no social capital to offer, no reputation to protect or damage, and no ability to return any favor, the performance drops. The patience disappears. The warmth becomes efficiency. The person who was so generous with their time 10 minutes ago suddenly has none to spare. James 2:1-4 addresses this directly. Believers must not show favoritism based on a person's appearance or social standing, treating the wealthy man with deference while dismissing the poor man. The test of genuine love is not how a person treats the people who can benefit them. It is how they treat the people who cannot. Luke 10:27 summarizes the entire law in the command to love God and love your neighbor. And the parable that immediately follows defines neighbor as the person directly in front of you who needs something, regardless of their social standing, their usefulness, or their ability to return the kindness. The true Christian who treats the Uber driver with the same genuine respect they would show their pastor is not performing. They have understood that every person they encounter bears the image of God and deserves to be treated accordingly. These 5 things cannot be faked indefinitely because they happen in the spaces where performance is impossible and character is all that remains. The true Christian does not do these things to earn anything. They do them because genuine faith eventually produces genuine character, and genuine character does not turn off when the audience leaves. Which of these 5 things challenged you most today? Comment below and tell us what country you are watching from. If this video was valuable to you, please like it, subscribe to the channel, turn on notifications, and share it with someone who needs to hear this truth. We have more honest and powerful content coming, and you do not want to miss what is next. May God give you a faith that looks exactly the same, whether anyone is watching or not.